Okay, so well, thank you so much for transport events and for inviting ATI in giving ATI the opportunity to demonstrate and share how it's been able to expand itself beyond port operations into becoming a trade enabler. And we look at this as an opportunity as well for ATI to become hopefully part of BIMP-EAGA in terms of what it can offer in terms of opportunities and both opportunities and challenges that we can explore in terms of how ATI can further improve or further contribute, particularly in the BIMP-EAGA initiative. So ATI is the port operator of the Port of Manila. We are also the port operator of the Batangas port, and we service both containerized and non-containerized cargoes going into Manila and Batangas. We are publicly listed since 1996, and we've grown organizationally into a diverse workforce, and we have management systems that are compliant to major world standards for IMS, for quality, environmental management, safety management, and of course, security management. And ATI is part of the Dubai Ports World or DP World network of global port operators. And DP World has actually evolved in its portfolio beyond just ports. So it has gone beyond that, beyond the gate and into logistics, marine services, and in some parts, in some countries, has been integral in ecozones. So they've been able to evolve or develop solutions, logistic solutions that incorporate the port and, of course, a economic zone as the primary beneficiary of the port service and all of the related logistic services. So for ATI, last year we had a robust performance. Our volume of 1.66 million TEUs grew by almost 13% from 2018. We are also the second to Cebu, one of the largest facilities handling or providing services to passengers. There were 8 million passengers served in 2019, 4 million going on and 4 million coming in. It's also a hub facility for completely built units or brand new cars. And more importantly, ATI has been able to provide a safe work environment for our 2,000 employees when we registered zero harm and no spillage for that year. So we're quite proud of the safety achievement of ATI. Now, ATI's robust performance is a combination of its seaports located in Manila, Batangas, and in General Santos. In South Cotabato, we have a partnership with ICTSI operating the port of South Cotabato. And augmenting our seaports are our dry ports, which are located in proximate or strategic locations to the ports. So these are facilities or hub facilities, we call them, that aim to augment and provide a logistics service to specific clients or clusters, as we call them, using the ports of Manila or Batangas. And this allowed ATI to have a value proposition of an integrated ports and logistics connectivity. And this is one thing that we can say we've developed over time. And it's something that we want to develop further. And really what we're looking at is integrating a solution of logistics that connects the ports to specific dry ports that importers or exporters can use. So it could be a cluster like FMCG cluster, or we can talk about automotive clusters. So we target specific industries or port users, or even you can say export zone locators. and then leverage the use of these facilities to connect them to the ports or from the ports, running through a highway backbone. So this is Manila, and the white dotted line is actually the South Luzon Expressway that connects Port of Batangas directly to Manila, and of course to the port. So we sort of have this south of Manila corridor, that then connects to the different manufacturing hubs in that area. And so, like, one solution that we've sort of worked on for quite a long time now is importers or exporters. We can immediately pick up their imports or container cargo from the port, whether it's Batangas or South Harbor, into an inland clearance depot in Laguna, in Calamba. Now, what this allows the importer is that it allows them reliability in terms of delivering these requirements, these goods, into their factories or warehouses. Manila traffic is chaos, and it's always been something that it's a nightmare, to say the least. And therefore, importers or exporters would want to be sort of immune to Manila traffic. So what we're able to provide them as a solution is we can get their containers even before they're cleared, because we can clear containers from customs in an inland depot which is closer to where they are. So instead of being 50 kilometers away, which is Manila to Laguna, they're just about maybe 4 or 5 kilometers. And then we can do a just-in-time delivery of containers or work with logistics service providers so that they can have their containers to their plant within the day when they need it, or on the day that they need it. We can then run back and get the empty containers for repositioning back to the port. Similarly, for the automotive industry, what ADI invested in Batangas is a 5-story, completely built unit car park, which its footprint is a hectare. It's 10,000 square meters, 5 levels. And then we also allowed pre-delivery inspection facilities inside the port. So then cars coming from the ship will be inspected, cleared, made ready, and consignees can pick them up. So the different car brands can pick their cars and straight to dealers, or we can immediately connect to a domestic carrier to connect them to inter-island destinations. So Cebu and the rest, Visayas and Mindanao, would then be connected through this port. So the car doesn't actually leave the port anymore. That significantly reduced the logistics cost to car brands or car manufacturers, because it really shortened, or basically don't need to have much trucking anymore, moving cars between ports, because it's all in port. And our ongoing project now for the Port of Batangas is a passenger terminal building. So again, this is as we mentioned, we've serviced close to 8 million passengers 2019, and now we've committed to build a passenger terminal building, a modern terminal building, to ensure the connectivity of passengers between basically Luzon and the rest of Visayas. Okay. So fundamentally, what ATI has developed through the years is a port-centric supply chain solution, which is really an integrated supply chain network catered to specific industries, or we can say clusters of industries: automotive, FMCGS, export zone manufacturers. And that allowed us to have a wide logistics network. While it is anchored on ports, it allowed us to cater to the requirements of specific importers or exporters. And that we couple that with, seamless services. So it's all about understanding what the clients need, and in coming up with smart and efficient solutions for them. Smart being the application of technology, and that means greater visibility on their transport situation, the container locations, container tracking, even things like how soon can they be cleared and all the rest of it. And so ATI invests in facilities, whether it's inland, in port, technology as well. Particularly, we're looking at technologies now that related to blockchain technologies. And of course, that ultimately connects the importers. And bottom line is it's all about trade facilitation. And so in the context now of how we looked at the BIMP-EAGA opportunity, and this is something that we've looked at into about 4 years ago, is that there is a corridor, the Greater Sulu-Sulawesi corridor, that is hinged on as a maritime corridor. And that's about ensuring the trade flows between the member countries of BIMP-EAGA. But aside from just ensuring the flow of trade, it's all about also adding value in terms of connectivity, in terms of efficiency, in terms of enabling the different users of the traders themselves, to facilitate that movement in a very economic and efficient fashion. And that could be geared towards the gateway ports that are identified in that corridor, not just the ones in the Philippines, but also in the neighboring countries of Malaysia, Indonesia, and Brunei. Now, in the Philippines, yes, we are part of the South Cotabato terminal. So that is in General Santos, which is identified as one of 2 gateway ports on the Philippine side. The other being Davao, and ATI has looked and explored working with the Port Authority for the modernization of the Davao Port. And that's something that we are still keen on looking at, depending on how the project comes to fruition. And what we want to really develop in that area would be how we can do port-centric, or how we can implement port-centric supply chain solutions, wherein you have the port on the one end. It's a multi-cargo port for imports and exports, ensuring there's shipping connectivity between the countries. And then coupling that with land connectivity, looking at the road networks to and from the port to the different, you can say, industry clusters that are being served by that port, agricultural, aquaculture for that matter. And then, of course, looking at hub facilities, inland, or whether it's inland or adjacent to the port. We could talk about, these are warehouses that we've looked at, bonded facilities, cross-dock facilities. And these hub facilities add value because it's about consolidating goods. It's about creating scale economies for the different traders or shippers. And of course, safeguarding and protecting the goods themselves. And that allows us to then return it all back. So it's a cycle of in and out through the port, connecting them to the different gateway ports within that region. And yeah, we've heavily, if you look at our Southern Mindanao industries, it's heavily favored towards agri and aquaculture industries. Of course, so we identify supply chain clusters in terms of looking at solutions on how we can involve technology in terms of cargo tracking, in terms of managing cargo flow, efficient systems working with third-party logistics providers in ensuring that goods are seamlessly moving from origin port to actual destination, or you can say the fulfillment point. And therefore, if you have all of these, we can develop those scale economies needed to make sure that the goods themselves are well within the parameters of what could be economical for all. And essentially that's it. And those are the opportunities that ATI as a port operator are looking at for the region. And hopefully there are still those opportunities we can explore, not just within the Philippines per se, but also within the Southeast Asia. So it could be outside of the Philippines for port operations. Thank you so much.